Welcome back to True Crime Stories. Today's video is going to be part 3, the last part of the FBI interview from Letecia Stauch. Okay, so as the first two, we have the video and then we have the testimony from the detective in the interview. This last one is going to include the cross-examination from the defense attorney as well as the redirect, and it's not very long. But can I just say the fact that she has to sit there in court and listen to everything that is being said is just icing on the cake, because he sees right through her and it is just awesome. But if you watch when it goes back to the court feed, which is also very hard to hear, but the interview itself, the volume is okay. But when you go back to the court feed, you don't really ever see her face at all. Tell me if I'm the only one that sees that as, oh, you guilty, girl. You guilty. But anyway, without any other delay, let's jump in to the third and final part of the FBI interview from Letecia Stauch on March 2nd, 2020, right after her arrest.
Good morning, Mr. Grusing. Did you have a good weekend?
I did, thank you.
Good. When we last had you on the stand, we had just played the portion of the video where you're talking with the defendant about the board that was found up in southern Douglas County. Do you remember that portion?
Yes.
And you used a word in your question, thrown, and then you got quite a challenge from the defendant. Was that consistent where she would challenge you on things that were maybe peripheral?
Yes.
Can you give examples of that and what that meant to you during this interview?
Well, she used words like she was giving us keys, and then if I wasn't correct on my guesses, which I had asked her not to have me guess since I didn't know all the answers, she would get upset if I didn't guess correctly on whether it's Gannon's location or what she was doing when her phone was off, those sorts of things.
What do you mean by guesses? And give examples of what you mean when you use the word guesses.
So, especially during this later part of the interview, when I was asking her about the blood, more than once, she would say that if I knew enough about this investigation, I should be able to say either where Gannon is or more details about what was going on that I couldn't guess too. So it was an effective way really for her to not answer my question and tell me that she knew things I didn't know.
Did that indicate to you fairly high intellect?
It did, and forward thinking, and that she knew that the questions that I was asking her would require a difficult answer, and so she was requiring the same out of me, something that was actually impossible for me to answer because I didn't know what she knew.
And as it relates to that, are you talking about Gannon's location at this particular time?
Yes.
Okay. Just after that portion of video where we were watching you asking her about the board with blood being found up in southern Douglas County, did you ask her, or I guess confront her with other pieces of evidence as well?
Yes.
All right, so the next section we're going to play is a shorter section. It's at 4 hours, 7 minutes, and 13 seconds through 4 hours, 10 minutes, and 13 seconds.
Do you know why I told you about that? I normally don't do this. Tell everybody all the evidence against them. Why do you think?
I don't know.
Because I think if you're to weigh this on, there's enough probable cause. A judge in Colorado Springs and El Paso has signed a probable cause warrant for first-degree murder.
Okay.
And all this evidence, and I'm telling you about the ones that I know about, and that's before you do, you know, all the phone stuff, et cetera, and then versus you taking a chance that you're going to get off? It's
I'm not taking a chance for nothing because I didn't do anything, sir. Okay, sir.
If you say you didn't do anything, do you know what an innocent person would do? I have had plenty of innocent people sitting in your chair. Do you know what an innocent person would do? They would be freaking out.
I know.
You are not freaking out.
Yeah, right. You think I haven't freaked out?
I heard
for,
you
like,
freak out on
days?
the phone one time.
You think I haven't freaked out for days? You can't judge the way I freak
No.
something out one way and another way.
I have had the wrong person in a room like this before,
Okay.
and trust me, if they had any idea who did it, they would tell me.
Okay, well,
That makes no sense.
I guess
And no
that's
jury
the
will
jury.
buy. No
Okay.
jury's going to buy
Okay.
that you sit here with an answer that somebody else
Okay.
took Gannon, that all this head wound and all
Okay,
this
sir.
stuff happened in there. Do you think I don't know what I'm talking about?
Sir, I never question anything.
Well,
to
you
do with
must,
No, I
because you're
didn't.
taking a huge chance, Letecia.
Sir, I'm not taking any chance.
How are you not taking
Because
a chance?
I know the man upstairs knows I did not do anything again.
Well, he's not going to be on the jury.
Oh, okay. All right, we're not going to go there with that. We're not going to go
We're
there.
going to sensible people who we're going to present evidence in front of.
Let me tell you what. There's a higher power.
There
That
is.
higher power
Yes.
will make sure.
I believe in the higher
Okay.
power as well.
I'm glad you do, sir. That really makes me feel a lot better. It really does. I'm serious. So then you know.
But Letecia, if this comes down to common sense,
I do have
and these
common sense.
prosecutors, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about who you're going to be sitting in front of.
Okay.
And if you're going to take a chance that they're not going to listen to all this evidence, all this blood, all these stories that you told
Okay.
about Gannon, and that you have the key to finding him and you don't do it, there's nobody else to prosecute.
Okay.
Why won't you go there?
I'm not. Why am I? What else am I going to say?
The easiest thing to tell me is the last time you saw Gannon.
I've already talked to you. I've already told you I did not hurt Gannon. Okay.
But then what do I need to go through again the other things that might have happened to Gannon?
Sir, you don't need to go.
Where
through
did you
everything.
gently place Gannon?
What?
I don't know how to phrase it.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, because I don't know where he is.
Okay.
If you want me to use a different verb or whatever, I'm struggling.
I've got it paused at 4 hours, 10 minutes, and 13 seconds. Why have you shifted tactics here to trying to now find Gannon's location as to getting descriptions of what happened to him?
Well, she seems to be more reluctant to answer questions now. And she showed me with the particle board. She got upset when I said she threw it. And as I said earlier, she gets upset if I guess. So I tried different verbs like placing it, setting it, those sorts of things. And then she will settle back down. So that's why I'm trying different ways to get her to communicate to me any other clue that might have happened with Gannon. So I'm just trying yet a different tactic again.
Including clues potentially towards his location?
Yes.
Okay. When you go down this particular path of talking about last place that she may have seen Gannon, did she give you any keys that helped find Gannon?
No. And I had already asked her in the previous section who the last person was with Gannon, since she was saying it wasn't her. We had been through the angel routine, and then I was trying to see if she would push it to anybody else, and she's not. So since she's not pushing it to anybody else, she's basically saying it's her. So I just want her to say where she last saw him, whether it was in the house, whether it was at the Petco, whether it was at Palmer Lake, to give us some sort of clue of her last sighting of him.
You made a statement in that section that you don't normally tell people that you're interviewing about all of the evidence. One, why do you not typically do that?
We don't typically do that because we don't want the defendant or whoever we're in front of to testify falsely to something in case we give them too much evidence and then they say something they didn't do. Also, we don't want them to know what we know, because I want their statement to be pure in that they're not just repeating what I say. With this interview, we had gone far enough to where we would do something called the collaborative interview, to where we bring the person in with us and we share as much as we can to try to get them to collaborate and cooperate with us, since I'm working towards a solution and I'm trying to bring her in almost as an investigator to help me find out what happened to Gannon. So the more facts that I introduce to her slowly, I'm hoping that she'll start cooperating with me.
So you anticipated my follow-up question is, why were you doing that in this case? But you just answered that. As this discussion sort of develops, does she then talk about faith in God and that kind of thing?
She does.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and play that. It's basically from this point forward to 4 hours, 14 minutes, and 6 seconds.
Letecia, this is not about you.
I didn't.
You're the
think it
one
was.
caught up in it, though. You're the one with all the evidence stacked against
Okay.
you.
Okay, well,
Help yourself right
I'll help
now.
myself.
Why would you not?
Help myself do what?
Just tell me what happened.
To what happened to who? I don't know.
The way you
Do I
described...
have to stand up for a moment?
Absolutely. The wounds that you described to him don't even come close to the blood in the
then
house.
if that's what you think, then
No,
sir.
it's not.
Okay.
This is what people that do this for a living tell me.
Okay.
Again, I wasn't there, but a little gash on his head
Okay, sir.
doesn't explain at all that stuff that's in there.
Okay.
But do you want to go with that? Because when you walk out of here, the last thing on record you're going to have is what you told me. And I would love to be your storyteller.
Okay.
I would love to tell the true story. It will help you. You believe in that higher power you
Oh,
said?
I do. That's why. You
What
want to know
about the
why?
truth? Do
You
you
want to know
study the
why?
truth?
You want to know why I'm not sitting here like going crazy, freaking out, putting on an emotional show like I've seen people involved in this situation put on fake cries and all that? Because I know God knows that I did not do anything to Gannon.
Okay.
I mean,
But what about the truth? You study the same Bible, the same God. It tells a lot about truth in there, and you have not told many truths in this whole thing.
well, so know that. Guess what? But let me tell you what happened this morning when I woke up. When I woke up this morning, I watched a story about Ron Miller. So he started this church, and he ended up like getting talked down to, bullied online, treated like crap, accused of things he didn't do, and that's where he went to the accusations part. And so he went down this whole trail talking about how accusations and how this did to him and what he had to go through and all that.
Okay?
But in the end, he kept his faith in Jesus Christ. You know about the story of Paul, you know about Saul in the Bible. Okay, I can walk you through a lot in the Bible. If you know what I'm talking about. So he turned those accusations into just keeping steadfast and staying strong, and into believing God's going to do this and keeping whatever. Because, in the Bible, they persecuted a lot of Christians, right? A lot of them for things they didn't do right.
Correct.
But, there's a lot of stories where God made sure they were okay. So when I woke up this morning, I literally decided, God, you can take this, and you can either A, bring Gannon home, bring him to the front step, drop him off, so that I can please never have to worry about this again.
Right.
Or you can let me just stay focused on believing in you, as in him, and just the truth will come out. And it's okay, because I don't want to sit here and accuse all these people of whatever. I'm not going to turn those same accusations against them for saying this and saying that, not believing this, not believing that. I'm just going to just sit there and say, I know I did not hurt Gannon.
So I've got it paused at 4 hours, 14 minutes, and 6 seconds. Did you go on from this basically to then try to get her to tell you more details about when she last saw Gannon?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to jump to that section at 4 hours, 17 minutes, and 18 seconds. And we will play through 4 hours, 20 minutes, and 3 seconds.
So let's go a different way. If you did something bad to Gannon.
I did
Now,
not.
I'm saying we go if. If you did something bad to Gannon, could you ever admit it?
What? I didn't do anything bad again.
No,
I'm not gonna go.
This is not a trick.
But I'm not gonna go answer that question because I did not do anything bad.
The reason why I ask you that is the people that I've worked with are actually put in prison for life. I've told them, and I've told people, the families of these victims, I said, if you put Harold in a room and you take everybody else out, we have absolute evidence that he pushed his wife off a cliff and that he dropped a car on his other wife, and he was convicted. I said, even if you clear everybody out and you just have Harold in a mirror, Harold was a God follower, Christian like you are. I said he could never admit that he did that to either wife.
Well, I'm sorry that, what's his name, Harold? Harold is that type of person. Because a God follower, and I'm not judging him, I'm saying, in order for you have to repent your sins to God, okay? And you have to put yourself there. And in order to repent your sins to God, it means also you have to lay them all down on the cross. And like, my sins are laid down, and it is not involving hurting, harming, or killing anyone, okay? So I'm sorry that Harold, or whatever his name is, has like a different approach.
Well, I think you have probably a more serious problem than Harold, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know where an 11-year-old is, and I am here telling you we could go find him, and you are not giving us his location, alive or dead. So what Harold did was push a 50-year-old woman off the cliff. It was an awful thing, and the parents hated losing Tony. But Tony had lived a full life, as full as you can till 50. It was still tragic. Gannon's 11. Gannon,
it doesn't matter age.
he's
Yeah, you're right.
11.
It's tragic, right?
Yeah.
You just said
And
that.
if you had the
Tragic.
answer, you would give it to us.
I don't know where he is.
But you won't answer my questions about the last time you saw him.
Listen, sir, anything I say to you, you're not going to listen to me. You're going to take, and you're going to say this.
No, I'm not going to twist things, Letecia.
You're going to do that. And to be honest with you, I can give you speculation.
Okay, give
like
me
with
speculation.
everyone else.
Please.
I can give you
I'll take
speculation.
speculation.
Speculation is Gannon is alive. Speculation is Gannon is with someone who is not willing to hurt him until they get something they want.
Why wouldn't they make a demand then? Why would they hold an 11-year-old kid? That's more sadistic.
So as we talked about, we stopped it at 4 hours, 20 minutes and 3 seconds. Why did you start this section out with asking, could she admit it? What was in your mind when you asked that question?
When it's a familial matter and someone that you really care about is the person that you've harmed. I haven't yet had someone who's admitted to me that they were responsible for that harm or homicide.
And so that's why you were asking that particular question?
Yes.
Okay. And then does it devolve back into now he's been kidnapped by some group?
Yes.
All right. Did you then confront her again about the blood on the wall?
Yes,
Did she bring up a miscarriage that she apparently had sometime prior?
she does.
All right, let's watch that section. It starts at 4 hours, 21 minutes and 47 seconds and goes through 4 hours, 23 minutes and 47 seconds.
And Your Honor, could Mr. Allen and I? All right.
All right.
Mr. Allen?
Yes, thank you, Judge. Picking up from where we left off, we were going to jump to the confrontation about blood on the wall and being compared to a miscarriage, and it's going to jump to 4 hours, 21 minutes and 47 seconds.
It had nothing to do with harming Gannon. Why would you clean up the blood that's on the wall?
So you're saying you've never had anything happen in your house and you cleaned it up? Never. Like, you've never had, like...
Why would you cut out the carpet?
Nosebleeds. The carpet?
Nothing.
Because I was going to get more carpet. The carpet has nothing to do with cutting it out. It was getting smell. It stunk. I couldn't breathe. None of us could breathe.
Did you say that Lena helped you clean up some of the blood on the wall?
Lena always helps us clean up everything. Lena helped us clean up the light switch. Lena helped us clean up when Gannon had a nosebleed. Okay?
But for this occasion, she helped with that.
Now you're going to walk me back through what we've already talked about. So you're now going to go be like, oh, an 8-year-old this and an 8-year-old that. Come on, sir. There was all the time. Gannon was bleeding all the time. He'd have a nosebleed randomly at the drop of a dime. He'd bite his fingers, bleed, all the time.
Would it help if I gave you a picture of the wall of what all showed up on it?
Sir, that's not going to get me to say anything to you because I didn't do anything.
Well, what I'm trying to appeal to, though, is, again, you weighing your options right now before we're gone.
Sir?
Because you're taking a big risk, Letecia.
Sir, I believe in a higher power. And that higher power is going to show the entire world. And when it does, I would never have to work a day in my life again. And that's going to happen. Guarantee you. Because I did not hurt, I did not dispose, kill, whatever you want to call these things that you're going to name out as verbs.
Then what did you do?
Didn't do anything again.
So why did you confront her with the blood cleanup and, for instance, the carpet cutout?
We had talked about it before, but this is what I'm left with to speak with her about, is the evidence in the case to see if she'll move from where she was.
Were you trying to give her an opening to give you more details?
Yes, and I don't remember if I had brought up before Lana's participation in this, but I wanted to see.
Lena, you mean?
Yeah, Lana's participation, and to see how she would react to that.
Again, is it consistent throughout the interview that she would resist those opportunities when it related to the specifics of the crime itself?
Yes, and again, she said she sees the pathway where these questions would be going, and she says she's not going to go there.
Appreciating where you want to get to.
Correct.
From your perception, was that logical thought process?
Very.
Shortly after this portion of the video, do you confront her with trying to get information about, hey, there's a boy out there. Help me find him. Help me get him home.
Yes.
Let's jump to that section. 4 hours, 24 minutes, and 29 seconds. And we will play through 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 50 seconds. So about 8 minutes. Judge, I'm not sure if you want to allow Mr. Grusing to step down during this 8-minute portion.
Thanks.
So starting it at 4 hours, 24 minutes, and 29 seconds.
Talking about why would you act like this when there's a boy out there?
I want Gannon home.
Then tell me how to do it.
I want to help you. I don't know. I don't.
But see, that's where easy questions should be easy to answer.
I just said I don't know. That's an easy answer.
The easy answer is tell me the very last time you laid eyes on him. Where was he? Was he laying down? Was he standing up? Was he sitting? Was he walking to a car? Where was? Give me your very last image of Gannon. That's an easy question. You have to remember your last image of Gannon. Letecia, what was he doing? Why would you not answer that?
Because I've given you answers.
No, you haven't told me exactly what you saw when you saw him for the very last time. Did you see the back of his head? Did you see his face? What was his expression? Did he say goodbye to you? Tell me of your last, I wish I could see in your head right now. Your very last image is there, but you won't tell me. Why won't you tell me?
Because it's nothing bad to
Well, then tell
you.
me. If it's nothing bad, you would tell me. What's your last image of Gannon?
Sir, I don't
Please?
have any bad images of Gannon.
I didn't say it was bad.
I don't
just
have
asking.
any.
What's the very last picture of seeing Gannon alive or not alive that you have in your brain?
He is alive. I'm not going
Then
to say
tell me the last time you saw him.
Oh,
What did you see? Letecia, all that stuff you said earlier.
okay.
Being
so
a good person, you didn't hurt him, you didn't do all this. I'm repeating it back to you. Why could you not tell me then? If that all that is true, you know the last time you saw him. What would that hurt to tell me? Do you need time to think?
No, I don't.
Well, then tell me.
I don't need any time, sir.
What is wrong with that question?
There's nothing wrong with the question. I've already made it clear that I wasn't going to answer more questions
You've never answered this one.
because you have already predetermined what you want in your brain along with everyone else.
Why do you care about what's in my brain?
So you just asked me about mine.
Yeah, because your brain's the only one that counts here. It doesn't matter what's in my brain. The very last time you saw Gannon, where was he? What was he doing?
Did y'all put a reward out?
There's no need to put a reward out.
Okay.
Can you please answer that?
See, you automatically have a predetermined thing in your brain.
If you give me something else, I'll go
Yeah,
there.
no, wow.
Why do you care about my brain, Letecia? Yours is the one that matters.
Sir,
What's the last thing
I'm
you
going to
saw?
tell you one more time. I did not hurt.
I didn't ask
harm,
that.
do
I did not
anything
ask
wrong
that. I don't
to
care. What is the last
I
thing
think
that you
you
have
like
with him?
checked all these places I've been.
Why don't you answer that question?
Why don't you
I'm just
answer me?
curious.
Have you checked all these places I've been, and where was Gannon? Was he there? Doesn't that like sink in your brain
What's
for
the
a little
last thing
bit
that you have with
to
him?
say?
You're going to live with
Gannon
it for the
is
rest of your life, Letecia. Why don't you tell me today?
I'm not living with anything horrible in my brain. I'm not.
Okay, well then it should be an easy question.
I've given you the answer.
Of the last time you saw him? No, you haven't.
No.
Because I'm afraid it's not the image that you want to be left with.
What? Sir, that's not going to convince me to say something that I didn't
Okay,
do.
then maybe it is the image. Then tell me. Why else would you not tell me?
Because you keep going with the same question, and if you've already
And you won't answer it.
but you predetermined yourself.
No.
When I thought you were going to help, that was different. But you predetermined yourself.
You didn't tell me what the last thing you saw was, even with your answer there. And that's fine. If you want to tell me the thing with Angel, I
I'm
don't
not going
care.
to say anything other than saying, it will shock everyone. But I will promise you, I won't have to worry about nothing the rest of my life because I didn't do it. And this is
But
going
you
to come
did-
out.
What's going to come out? That you didn't tell the FBI who took Gannon, if that's your deal? How is that going to shock everybody?
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay.
I didn't think you were guilty until you don't answer the last time you saw him.
Sir,
I
you
have-
came in this
listen.
morning
No, I did not.
and you automatically thought that. You automatically thought that already.
I was willing to listen if you were going to give me evidence to the contrary. But I have talked to many people who have seen someone disappear. It never goes away, that last image of
Oh,
them.
well.
It
you
never
know,
goes away, and you've got it in your mind, and you won't tell me.
Right.
There is only one
Listen,
reason you won't tell me.
You're right. People do have, when people do bad things, their images stay in their brain. You're right.
Bad or good. A lot of these dads didn't know when the last time they were going to see their daughter.
I mean,
And they still remember it like it was yesterday, 14 years later.
oh yeah.
You remember the last time you saw Gannon.
Yeah.
So tell me what you saw.
Nothing negative.
So tell me what you saw.
I saw nothing negative. I saw nothing with Gannon.
You're telling me
harmed.
nothing. You're saying nothing.
Okay.
Just tell me what you did see, the positive.
Gannon was fine. Gannon.
Where was he? Was he
No,
standing?
you still tell me what I see. I'm just going to tell
Okay,
you
I'm sorry to interrupt
how Gannon was.
you. Okay.
Okay? Gannon was fine. Gannon, nothing was wrong with him. Gannon was happy. Gannon is my favorite stepchild. My favorite. I know everybody says they have favorites and things like that, or say they're not really necessarily favored or whatever, but he was.
Do you remember how we
He
talked
definitely
earlier?
is.
Remember how we
Always.
talked earlier about when I ask you a question and you go around?
I'm not answering that question for
You're saying, you're
because
giving me qualities of Gannon. You're not saying what
I'm
you
not.
saw.
I'm
You're
not,
saying he's a
sir.
favorite stepson.
Sir,
What did you see?
sir,
Was he standing or sitting?
I didn't do anything to Gannon.
I didn't say you did. I
Okay.
said your last memory.
Okay, well, I didn't do anything to Gannon, so.
Do you have it in your mind right now?
Nope.
Seeing him for the last time.
Oh, well, it's not going to be the last time that I see him.
The last time you saw him. Do
It's
you
not
have
gonna be the last
that?
time
Do you
I
have
see him.
that picture in your mind?
Good.
Yes or no?
This. I know you're really good at what you do. I appreciate that. I know that, but I didn't do this. This
Well,
is
why
why.
don't you tell me the answer to that question?
Because you
It's
want.
not-
I'm not. Why would
I'm
I
not
keep answering questions for you?
But that is not a hard question to answer. I'm not saying did you kill him. I'm not saying did you put him in a forest. I'm not saying
What?
did you put him in a dumpster. This is just your last image. You've got to have it.
My images are happy lives. That's
No,
what it will
that's
always
not what you
be.
see in your brain.
Okay. Well, see, now you know my brain.
Yes, I know.
Okay. Oh my God.
You have an image of the last time you saw Gannon.
Okay.
If you didn't hurt him, why won't you tell me?
I already told you I didn't hurt him.
I know, but if you didn't, why would that image be a problem for
It's
you?
not a problem. I don't have a problem with anything.
Then tell me. I'm not accusing you of anything, Letecia. Just tell me the last time you saw him.
At the very beginning, I'm sorry.
Not up yet.
Oh.
You can go ahead.
I'm going to ask the empty chair, Judge.
Okay.
The voice from behind me would have been interesting. Mr. Grusing, at the very beginning of this portion of the video, you start out with easy questions and easy answers. What was your purpose of that statement?
What do you mean? Easy questions, easy answers?
Well, easy questions should be easy to answer, basically.
Yeah, again, if she's saying that she's innocent of this, then the questions that I'm asking should be very easy for her to answer.
Did she give you any of these easy answers?
No.
Again, here, it appears that you're sort of pushing back when she's saying, well, what's in your mind? Did she appear to be throughout this entire interview preoccupied with what other people were thinking about her?
Yes, and that was consistent with the phone calls. And what I'm trying to keep her from doing is manipulating her answer to see what I want to hear. I just want to hear what she knows to be true.
This whole issue about did you all put out a reward, that kind of stuff. This entire section, was this another example of her deflecting away from the thrust of information you're trying to gather?
Yes.
Right after this, does she then actually challenge you about, are you going to find Gannon?
Yes.
All right, let's watch that portion. Basically, from this section on through 4 hours, 35 minutes and 56 seconds. So just a couple minutes. So if you're okay sitting there so I don't ask an empty chair questions.
This is an easy question compared to all the other ones we've done.
Oh.
Please.
Are you going to find him?
Yes.
Well, I would rather spend our time doing that because I don't have him. I didn't do anything with him, to him, or hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate all your work.
You
on
can
the
help
missing
us
case.
more than anybody on this planet. You can help me right now find Gannon. Let's start with the one question I asked you.
No. Yeah, I don't
Why?
trust anymore for
Well-
you because
Well, just tell me why you don't want to answer that.
I've already, doesn't matter. I can tell you I last saw Gannon when I went to the store this morning, and it could be legit true, and you would still be like, he was not at the store. I mean,
I will be able to tell if you say what he's wearing, or not even what he's wearing, how he was walking, you will remember this. And just you not answering it means you remember it.
no, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you now are a psychologist.
No, it's behavior analysis.
Okay, good. I'm glad you have behavior analysis. Okay. I'm glad. I appreciate you having behavior analysis. I mean, what else do you want me to say or do? I mean, what else?
So you don't want to answer that one?
I don't want to tell you anything else because
Why? If it helps find Gannon, why would you not tell?
Because you already predetermined.
I didn't say you heard him or anything. I think you
happened
know where
to
he is,
Gannon.
though.
You already predetermined this. You have.
The scene does tell the story,
Okay,
yes.
so if that's your story, then I'm not going to keep saying anything because I know that is not the case. So if I keep saying anything to you, you're just going to keep blah, 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 blah about it. And I've been nothing but respectful to you. So I'm trying
You
to
have treated me
remain,
with respect.
I'm trying to remain respectful to you overall because I don't have any disrespect for you and I don't treat people like that. But putting me in a situation where I'm like saying to you, I cannot say anything else because you've expressed your predetermined what you think. You've already done that. So no matter what I say, I legit could take you right to Gannon and he would be standing there and you would still say to me, oh, that's not him. Or you would say something else. Just
do you know how good that would be for you?
Oh, trust me. Yes.
Then why do you care what I think?
You know how good that would be for me? Absolutely.
Why do you care what I think? You should not care at all what I think. You said I wouldn't think. If you could take us to Gannon right now.
So, this idea where she's saying she doesn't have him, did you later learn that that was actually a true statement?
Yes,
Because of where Gannon was ultimately found?
correct.
Later on in this interview, did you confront her with her ability to dodge questions and spin stories? All right, let's jump to that section at 4 hours and 39 minutes and 33 seconds. Bless you. And we will play through 4 hours and 46 minutes and 21 seconds. So about 7 minutes if he's allowed to come down, Judge.
Up to him.
I think I can handle it this time.
Okay.
You got away with spinning stories and dodging questions your whole life.
So now you know me my whole life.
I can look back a little bit. I don't know you when you were 5 or 13 or 16. But I think something bad happened. And you've been able to avoid trouble. But that doesn't happen in this case.
Okay, sir.
These stories that you told are much worse for you than if you had just said, the best thing you could have said is, Gannon just went, and that's it. I'm not saying anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But you describing all these injuries to him, even to us today, is awful.
Injuries? But it's not injuries like that.
Yes, you talked about his
No,
his
it's not
head.
even injuries. Kids they're just all the time.
Yeah,
You
but
raise children and they never got hurt. Like they never.
Not all on the last day they're seen
No,
alive.
that's not even how it was. You're making it out to be like some whatever. That's not even how it was.
Tell me how it was then.
Gannon and I are very close. Okay?
But see, that's what you don't do. You say generalizations when I ask you, how was it?
How was
And
why? I don't even know what
that-
you're asking me.
The injury that caused that pool in the corner. It's not a little scratch on his
Okay,
head.
why don't you test it and see what day it came from? If that's what you're telling me, why don't you test it and see what day?
So it didn't happen on Monday.
No, I'm
it happened
asking
on
you.
Saturday.
I'm asking you. You are the one who are telling me, no matter what I say, you're telling me it's your way or no way. So why don't you tell me
Well,
what
I'm
day
saying
that
it's
was?
a significant enough injury that he was not going to be normal after that.
No, what?
Yep.
Oh, God.
That's what they told me.
Okay, well, that is awful that people aren't normal after anything like that.
It's a significant
Because I had
injury.
puddles of blood.
Well,
I remember that I had
We're not
puddles of blood.
talking about you. We're talking
I
about
know.
11-year-olds.
I said I did, and there was no significant injury that I died.
Do you not find that coincidental?
What, sir?
That the
What?
blood on the wall and by his bed
The
and
blood.
on the mattress.
The blood that you or your team allowed people to be in the house?
That has no
Okay.
bearing on
Okay,
this.
well, if it doesn't, then okay.
It doesn't.
Okay, so, okay. Maybe check one of them.
Are you ready to tell me the last time you saw Gannon?
Maybe check one of them, because
I bet you they can tell me the last time they saw Gannon,
that's
even
not-
though it was
that's not
months
the question.
before.
That's your answer.
I bet Al can tell you the last time he saw Gannon, even though he didn't know that was going to be the last time. I guarantee you he's got an image of Gannon. And you were the last one with him, Letecia.
Okay.
What do I need to say to help you? I'm serious.
You do not want to help me.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You want me to
Huh?
tell you what you want to hear. That's what you want.
No.
Yes.
I have never wanted people to tell me what I want to hear. If it doesn't lead me to finding Gannon or the truth of this matter, I could care less what it is. Like I said, most of the time, I'm wrong. I have to have people like you tell me the truth. If you didn't have anything to hide, you tell me your last
Don't
image of
have
me.
anything to hide.
Then tell me. That's not a guilt or innocence question. Just your last image of Gannon. Okay, now you don't have to tell me the last time you saw him, just your last image in your head. What's the last image in your head you have of him?
Sally.
Where was he?
Yeah, you said that's image. That's the image.
I mean, was he
gave.
sitting? Is he standing? Is he laying down? What's he doing?
Walking
Towards you or away from you?
away.
You have any questions for me?
Hmm?
Any questions for me?
No.
No, I'm asking you. Have I
Oh,
not
sorry, I thought you said.
have I not asked you a question that I should be asking you? Anything? I don't have the answers, Letecia. But I will help you if I can, but I can't with what I've got right now. You all right? You stand up?
No.
Anything?
You think what?
Is there anything I need to ask you that I haven't?
No.
All right. You can go see if Martha don't need anything.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Sure.
So I can.
Let's pause now at 4 hours, 46 minutes and 21 seconds. As to when you both leave the room and are off camera, what happened outside in the hallway?
I believe she went to the bathroom.
Do you then come back into the room with her?
We might have opened the door, but I don't think we do any more interviews in this room.
Okay. Why'd you go down this path of confronting her with dodging questions and spinning stories?
We had talked about it before, and she had told me that she has done that in the past, as far as talking in circles, dodging questions, and I just wanted to bring that back around. Something that she had told me to see if we could go straight forward just once with this last image question I had.
Did she ever give you a straightforward answer to the last image in her head?
No,
Throughout this long interview, did she exhibit that same sort of trait of dodging questions or spinning stories?
yes,
That's appeared to you in your perception to be a calculated move on her part.
yes,
Your final contact with her is back in this room, and it starts at 4:47:43 and then goes through 4:49:17. We'll jump to that now.
Well, I think we're done, Letecia.
Okay.
So from here, like I said, you're going to have to go to whatever the jail that holds you in. Colorado's got the warrant, so they're going to transport you then.
Okay.
Do you have anything else for me? I think we've talked for long enough today, but if you have something you want to say, I'll sit here for another 4 hours.
Alright, well, where's the warrant?
The warrant's in the system. It's in the NCIC is what they call it. So that's what they picked you up on today, was the arrest warrant from Colorado.
Okay.
So you're going to be going back there. Anything else?
What am I getting charged with again?
First-degree murder for Gannon Stauch. That's what I was trying to come in here with you to help you, is if we find Gannon, that makes a big difference.
You let me go.
We'll let you go.
If he's alive.
If he's alive, you might as well try it. I can't speak for the district attorney. I'm not an attorney. I'm an investigator.
Okay.
If he's alive and you can get us Gannon, yes. Good things will happen to you today versus getting shipped back to Colorado.
Alright, let's... Alright, can I talk to you about time? Just the warrant, please.
So we're now at the end of that recorded interview, essentially. Is she trying to have another off-camera discussion with you?
yes,
Did you in fact have a short discussion with her off camera?
yes.
What happened in that discussion?
Right outside the door, we now had police officers waiting to transport, so there were probably 4 or 5 law enforcement around us, and she said something in a small voice about North Carolina that I couldn't hear, and I asked her to repeat it, and she said that she and I should go to North Carolina. And I asked her, is Gannon in North Carolina? And she didn't answer.
Was that basically the extent of that interaction?
Yes, what I recall.
Okay. In looking back at your, even your recorded phone calls that we've heard throughout this trial and in this long interview, are there any, I guess, regrets that you have as to your approaches, ways that you may have been able to get more information about what happened again?
She brought up Quincy Brown to me, I think within an hour or so of our interview. And then she said if something to the effect of if I wasn't going to talk about that, then it wasn't any use going forward. And in looking at the phone calls with Al, that's where she described most of Gannon's injuries, or a lot of them. And you know, looking back and playing it through, maybe I should have gone more down the Quincy Brown angle to see if she would have been willing to disclose more things. That's the only thing I can think of.
The short portions that we didn't play through your direct examination here, were there any surprises in those portions that are different from the stuff that we saw in the video that we did watch?
No.
Did she act consistently in those portions to what we saw here?
Yes.
You, in 2 different sections that we watched, you delved into mental health questions. Do you remember those?
Yes.
Throughout all of your interaction with her, both through those recorded phone calls and in this interview, did she ever express any history with severe mental health issues, diseases, defects, anything like that?
She did not.
Did she ever talk about sexual abuse that she allegedly suffered as a child?
No.
Did she ever point to specific people in her life, family, that she alleged carried out sexual abuse against her?
No.
Did she ever give you any descriptions of any commitments to hospitals?
No.
Did she appear to understand the gravity of the situation when you were talking with her? That this is a first-degree murder charge?
Very well.
In what ways were you able to develop that idea?
Well, as I said earlier, she's able to see where different lines of questioning go and what would be damaging for her to answer truthfully. So, whether we're talking about evidence in the case or what happened to Gannon or her role or involvement, she stops that line of questioning before it goes down something that would be damning towards her in testimony.
So are you saying resisting giving more incriminating statements about the crime itself?
Correct.
Did that appear to be a calculated move on her part?
Yes.
Throughout your entire interaction with her, both through the consensual recorded phone calls and this long interview, did you ever observe her to change personalities?
No.
Did she ever talk in a Spanish accent?
No.
Did she ever demand to be called any other names besides the name that you knew her as?
No.
Did she ever use the name Taylor,
No.
Jasmine,
No.
Harmony,
No.
Christina,
No.
Little Lucia,
No.
Maria Sanchez?
No.
May I have just a moment, Your Honor?
You may.
And that's all I have. I just need to disconnect this computer from here so that Mr. Cook
Right.
has a clean podium.
Mr. Cook, cross-examination.
Thank you. Mr. Pearson, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good. Thank you.
So how long did you work for the FBI?
A few months short of 25 years.
25 years. Were you always in the Colorado office, or were you like a lot of other agents early in your career, you were in different states?
Always Colorado.
Always, okay. And at one point near the end of the interview, Miss Stauch referred to you as something and you corrected herself. You corrected her and said you're a behavior analysis.
She said something like, I'm a psychologist.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I'm in behavior analysis.
Okay. And is that generally what you did throughout the majority of your career?
No.
Okay. What else were your other assignments? And I know you already told Mr. Allen this, but I have to hear things a few times before they sink
No
in.
worries. So I was a special agent, and I was assigned to the criminal side for the FBI. There's a terrorism side or counterintelligence and a criminal side. And for my last 23 years, I was a criminal agent for them. So I was never a supervisor, it would be similar to being a detective for a local police department.
Okay. Now, you told Ms. Stout during the interview that you had been contacted by the main office for the FBI and told to go do this interview with her in South Carolina. Is that correct?
Yes, I think I told her, I was asked by the Colorado Springs office to come investigate initially and then also to go out to South Carolina.
Okay. Whose decision was it to you be the one that goes in and does this almost 5-hour interview?
I think it was up in the air early, whether it would be El Paso investigator and myself or just myself. And I don't remember how it came just to be me, but it ended up just being me.
Okay. And have you done a lot of these interviews over your career?
Yes.
Now, before we got into the audio videotape interview, we were listening to some additional phone calls with Gannon's father and Miss Stout.
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall in one of these interviews, it looks like it was February 19th, 2020. It began about 12:10 p.m. Do you recall that interview that was recorded?
Yes, briefly.
Okay. And were you there for that one?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember at the end of that conversation, it said Letecia said that her guess would be that Gannon was not in Colorado. When asked how she knew, she said, quote, because Tisha didn't hurt him, didn't dispose of him or anything like that, okay? It goes on, so Tisha was in Colorado with nothing, and you guys have run up all these places where y'all think I did or whatever, and you haven't found Gannon. Do you recall her at one point referring to herself as Tisha?
I do.
Okay. Now, generally, somebody in that conversation would say I, but in this situation, she's referring to herself in the third person.
Correct.
Okay. Did you find that a little bit off?
Not really.
Okay. Well, what if I started questioning you right here instead of saying, I've got a couple questions for you, Mr. Grusing? What if I said, Mr. Cook has a couple questions for you, Mr. Grusing? Mr. Cook would like to proceed. Would that be a little bit off?
It depends on who you are and how well I knew you.
So it'd be kind of strange if I was up here cross-examining you and I was using the third person to refer to myself.
It would be unusual, yes.
Mr. Cook has some more questions for you.
Sounds good.
Couldn't help it. Now, with respect to the Google searches we talked about, or you talked about with Letecia, I don't like my stepson, you recall those and
I do.
discussing that with Mr. Allen. Were you able to pull up the content that was retrieved during these searches, or what is the scope of what information you were able to pull up in this metadata or whatever it is?
So yeah, I was quite a bit removed from that. We had a computer specialist that was looking into her phone and would send us sanitized results.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't see what the kickback was or
That's correct.
anything. You just could see the search. Okay. And you don't know when these searches were made.
I
correct?
don't.
Okay. And that's not because you didn't look. It's just because that information was not saved.
Yeah, I was told they didn't know you're talking about when her actual search happened on her phone.
Yeah. When she, Googled in, I don't like my stepson. What do I do about it? Like if that was in 2018 or was it?
Correct. Yeah, it was no timestamp date was given to me for those searches.
Okay. So some of these searches could have been January 27th of 2020, and some of them could have been in 2018, or some of them could have been actually after January 27th.
Correct.
But before the phone was seized.
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of any searches coming back saying, what do I do if I don't like my stepson? And the answer being, stab him 17 times, plunge and force, strike him 4 times in the head and shoot him in the head?
No.
It'd be some pretty bad advice, wouldn't it?
That would not be good advice. You're right.
Now, sometimes, how many different stories did Miss Stout tell? I hear at one point you said you were asking her on the video and told her that she's told you about 7 different stories. Do you recall that?
Yeah, I think I was throwing out an approximate number.
Okay. And then Mr. Allen asked you one time, and he said you can't even count how many stories she gave.
Yes, because he brought up variations of stories, which would legitimately count as another story. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about an infinite number of stories. I mean, you could go back and
correct. We
basically
could
there
count
was-
them up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's basically there were, you know, between 5 and 10 main theme stories we're dealing
That
with.
sounds correct.
And one interview, something may change a little bit, but there was 5 to 10 main theme stories.
Sounds right.
Okay. Now, during some of the interviews, Ms. Stauch or Letecia, she seemed like she made a lot of eye contact, was pretty engaged near the beginning. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. And then there was a part for about 30 minutes or so in the middle where she didn't even look up. She hung her head the whole time. Do you recall that part?
Yes.
And her voice was a lot lower. You could hardly even hear her. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Is almost 5 hours a long time to be in an interview room like that?
It just depends on the situation.
What was your goal when you went into this interview room with Letecia? Was it to find out what Gannon was? Was it to get a confession to be used to prosecute her later? Both? I mean, what was the actual game plan when you went in?
Yeah, probably both. I would say primarily is to find what happened to Gannon. And as she had spoken with Al on the phone, that she had given hints or clues. And even if we were to get some of those, that would be worth the 5 hours.
And would you say that you came away from this interview as far as getting the confession and being able to find Gannon more or less empty-handed?
It went about as I expected it would.
And you weren't able to get enough information or any information out to be able to locate Gannon?
That's correct.
Can I have just a second, Your Honor?
Me?
I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Are
Thank
you
you,
ready?
Mr. Grusin.
Thank you.
Mr. Grusing, you were asked about the references that the defendant used third person to say her name.
Yes.
Have you been around other people who are self-absorbed who also talk about themselves in the third person?
I have.
Does that indicate in your mind any concerns about mental health capacity?
No.
Did that cause you any concern about this defendant as to her mental health capacity?
It did not.
Did it indicate in your mind that she was exhibiting a separate personality
No.
or acting as a separate person?
No.
You were asked about the demeanor change of the defendant in the interview, where in the beginning she's making lots of eye contact, perhaps even almost flirting with you. How would you attribute her demeanor at the beginning?
Conversational, I would even say hopeful on her part that she might be able to provide me with a story that I might take away.
Potentially hoping to manipulate your involvement in the investigation.
Yeah, sustained, you can rephrase.
Sure. Any other indicators for you as to what she may have been trying to get done there?
Yes, as I told her throughout, she was more concerned about what I was thinking than telling me what was happening. And she continued to do that throughout the interview. And I continued to admonish her to just tell me what she knew, not what she thought I was thinking.
Okay. You were asked at the very end of the cross-examination, did you come out empty-handed in this interview? Did you actually get useful information out of this interview?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what useful information you got out of it?
Well, Letecia continued to exhibit no concern for Gannon as she did in the phone calls with Al. Anytime I would try to speak with her about Gannon, an 11-year-old being missing, however I could phrase that, she would turn it back around to herself. Even at the end, she was saying about, instead of him being found, it's her being exonerated and people would be sorry. Everything focused around her. And that's why her referencing her in the third person was not a surprising thing to me. As far as coming out empty-handed, her not being able to articulate a last image of Gannon was very indicative that image was awful, and I told her that multiple times. So to me, I didn't come away with a confession, but I came away with more of a certainty that something really bad had happened to Gannon and that she had witnessed it. As you saw, I probably asked her 30 times, maybe more, about her last image and gave her multiple outs. And the other thing that she kept not wanting to accept is that this was an accident. And normally in a case like this, a person who has last been with a loved one, whether it's accident or something homicidal, they will accept accident, and she would not accept that.
And then what about demonstrating her ability to recall? Were you able to develop that as well?
Her ability to recall,
information.
yes, anything that was not inculpatory towards the disappearance and homicide, she could recall easily. Dates, times, movements, homework, those sorts of things. It was pretty easy for her to articulate those.
Was it your perception that she was refusing to recall data as to what actually happened to Gannon?
Yes.
Was that helpful towards the investigation?
Yes.
Were you able to develop information about her intellect, her ability to communicate and that sort of thing?
Yes.
And why is that helpful towards the investigation?
That she is a articulate, intelligent, perceptive, and intuitive person. And that also helped her evade law enforcement while we as a team were trying to find out what happened to Gannon while she was even still in Colorado. Just seeing her organized thought patterns there and how adept she was at shifting and deceiving and using some sort of alternative mechanism, it showed us that she was able to carry out what we thought she was able to carry out, and that is hide Gannon when there were multiple people looking for him.
What about the her lack of any prior mental health concerns? Was that helpful towards the investigation?
Yes.
Why?
Because we saw that she knew what she was doing. And we saw that even in her own words, she made this a 3-day ordeal, saying it started on Saturday, it went through Sunday, and there was all sorts of planning and premeditation involved, whether it's the call in to the school or not using her phone, using Gannon's phone. She explained to us that this was a prolonged event.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, so in my opinion, the defense's cross really didn't help their client. That's just how I'm looking at it. And no worries, the next upload is going to be all of the phone calls. Now, it's audio only, but I'll have that uploaded for y'all ASAP. And we're going to do a full case breakdown on this. But I just kind of wanted to get the interrogation videos out before I work on the case breakdown. That way everybody has time to go through those and listen to those at your convenience versus having to cram it all in during one of the case breakdown episodes that I'm going to do. So no worries, but remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode or upload that I'm going to do. And comment below, what did you think? What was your opinion? You know, what do you want me to focus on? What would you like to see? Just give me any kind of insight. I love reading the comments. But thank you for sharing this space with me, and I will see you guys next time.